This is the story of a special place, which changed and empowered thousands of lives, and one woman's vision, which became a gift to the community, as well as a gift to the world.
It was chilly and clear that Tuesday, November 18th, 1952. A good day to join 5 other young people at the old Fleischacker Pool building across from San Francisco's Ocean Beach. We'd been transported there at the invitation of a beautiful woman, an angel named Janet Pomeroy. At the time, life for people like myself, with cerebral palsy, was pretty limited, so getting out was a treat. Janet said she wanted our opinion about plans for starting a recreation program for us. This in itself was new and a bit scary. No one had ever asked our opinion about anything. In those days, we were lucky to live at home and to go to school. People with disabilities were routinely institutionalized, and education was only available at a few special schools. Janet's offer seemed incredible.
Because I knew there were large numbers of handicapped children and adults in San Francisco in need of such a program, I approached the Recreation and Park Department, who agreed to give us the top floor of this building, which used to be an old restaurant. I started in one room with 6 handicapped participants, and within a few months, we had enrolled many other children and adults in the community.
Soon we were in full operation. Janet acquired a couple of part-time staff members and volunteers. Each week more new participants came. Their families were so thankful. Often due to severe multiple disabilities, Janet was the only one who would accept them.
The children were so excited to be taking part in activities. Those were times when they were literally hidden in their homes. You didn't see them out in public. I also would take them out to playgrounds and parks and zoos, and the reaction from the public was really, what are you doing with these people out here? Why aren't they locked up? Why they shouldn't be here? And or some people would try to give them candy or money. It was just incredible, and no one had ever seen them out in public like that.
One day, Janet received a call from a champion of people with disabilities, Dr. Hulda Thielander, a San Francisco pediatrician. She told Janet about 200 youngsters in the community, toddlers through age 12, who were scheduled to be sent to custodial institutions unless their parents could find day programs for them. Janet responded immediately, saying she would accept all of the children, and then got busy praying, planning, and calling every retired school teacher she knew. Children have been the heart and soul of the center ever since. Their laughter and rollicking, playful ways made the center family complete. It would prove challenging for Janet to gain acceptance for her philosophy that people with disabilities should be able to do the things everyone else does. It would be rough financially, but with Janet's faith, we were on the road to success.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're visiting San Francisco's unique recreation center for the handicapped, the first and only center of its kind in the United States. The Recreation Center for the Handicapped is in the Fleischacker Pool building on the Great Highway near Sloat Boulevard, a spectacular setting between the Ocean Beach and the world's largest outdoor swimming pool.
You know, Ms. Pomeroy, when they told us we were going to do a show on the Recreation Center for the Handicapped, I didn't quite know what to expect. I thought maybe I'd end up feeling sorry for these kids, but it isn't that way at all, is it?
Oh, I should say it isn't.
Matter of fact, they're having so much fun, they've got me cheered up. I feel great. Is it always like this here?
Always, only usually a little noisier, maybe.
Noisier than it has been to date? It hardly seems possible. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dina. Hello, Dina. How are you?
Hi.
Hi. You're looking at Dina. You'll see her mostly in this mirror. Dina spends a lot of time looking in this mirror because the only way she can see what she's doing, because the only control she has is in her right foot. And yet, Dina has done things which satisfy her need for self-expression in the painting of pottery. Janet, will you tell us a little bit more about Dina?
Well, Dina came here almost 4 years ago, and when she first came here, she couldn't talk at all.
Well, she just said hello to me.
I know, but this has all happened here. Now she can say a complete sentence.
Well, now, once again, what do you think brought this about?
Well, we think it's because she wanted to. We placed her in a social situation, and she wanted to be able to speak and talk to her friends. So
in other words,
did.
You've let her live.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Now the Fleischacker building was bursting at the seams. The pool itself had been closed and paved over. We had simply outgrown the space.
We were in the Fleischacker Pool building 21 years. Estimated we've mainstreamed 35,000 people already in all those years.
But where could we go? As usual, Janet had a plan. A nearby Girl Scout camp on land owned by the city's water department would prove the perfect site for her vision of facilities designed specifically for people with disabilities. If the camp could be relocated and the property could be leased, a new adventure would begin.
They offered to give it to me for $1 a year. So the price was certainly right.
Mayor Joseph Alioto gave the project his blessing, and a combination of private donations and grants helped us launch the center we know today. The groundbreaking ceremony marked a new era of accomplishment. Changes at the center reflected changes in society on how people with disabilities were viewed. The efforts of parents, who lobbied at every level for a better way of life for their disabled children, resulted in passage of the Lanterman Act. Regional centers were established to administer funds and help people with disabilities live in their home communities.
We've always emphasized that the disabled are entitled to the same rights as anyone else. Now their rights have been mandated by law through the 504 Civil Rights Regulations, which of course include the provision of leisure time activities. We know that the disabled have the same interests and needs in recreation as anyone, and the same capacity for enjoyment, personal satisfaction, and fun.
At the same time, there was a movement to release people kept in state hospitals. But how would these people adjust to community life? They needed a place to learn skills before joining the mainstream. Again, Janet answered the call, providing social skills training and a program she called Workreation, preparing these individuals for a full life.
It was exciting to have them come out of state institutions and into the community and have them in programs and help them so much. Most of them didn't even know who their parents were or who they were. They had just been put in state institutions because they were disabled. Many of them were put there because they were deaf and they thought they were mentally retarded. It was really sad.
Those of us who have worked over the years with recreation activities for the handicapped have developed some guidelines which we feel are fundamental. For one thing, we accept them as people first and disabled second. All programs are planned and organized to operate by the same principles, standards, and procedures as those for general community recreation.
The programs at RCH also had national and even worldwide impact. Janet's techniques were described in her San Francisco State University master's thesis, which in turn was published as a textbook and used in universities worldwide. It was even translated into Japanese. Now Janet was in demand to give talks about her work and the center's development at national and international conferences. Visitors from around the world made pilgrimages to San Francisco to meet Janet and learn how her programs and methods could be adapted to their needs. Today, individuals come to our 5.5-acre campus nestled between Lake Merced and the Pacific Ocean to learn independent living skills, pursue creative expression, and most importantly, to have fun. More than 2,000 persons with physical, developmental, and psychiatric disabilities are served each week through programs based in the community as well as at the center. Services extend to San Francisco, Marin, and San Mateo counties. The center's mission continues to evolve in response to changing community needs. Our special transportation makes a wide range of programs accessible. Ours is the only after-school program designed specifically for youngsters with disabilities. Special adaptations make computer training available for people of all ages and abilities, including those challenged by stroke and injury, who are part of our Brainstorm program. Over 100 Bay Area businesses, including Oracle, Home Depot, Safeway, and the San Francisco Giants, are staffed with dependable employees trained and placed by the center's vocational services. Audiences at community centers and coffee houses are cheering original works performed by the cast of Theater Unlimited as barriers of stereotyping dissolve in the process. Our qualified staff has the training, experience, and empathy needed to make our programs and services vital and effective. Student interns from around the world and community volunteers enhance our work with their enthusiasm and dedication. In the tradition of Janet Pomeroy, our founder, who served without pay for 50 years, We rely on volunteers from our Parents Auxiliary, the Banner of Love Ladies Auxiliary, our board of directors, and from community friends like you. As a friend of the center, you are part of our extended family. We invite your help as we continue to expand the vision established by our founder and open doors of opportunity for people with disabilities. Together, we will write the next chapter of the Janet Pomeroy Center.
I remember when I was 6 years old, telling my mother that when I grew up, I would be doing something to help people. But I didn't know they would be disabled people because I had never seen a person with disabilities at that point. I knew that I had a special calling, but I didn't know exactly what it was. When I was searching for what I should do, I got polio. And I was in and out of the hospital. I went into the school that had just started for children with disabilities. I offered to volunteer. A woman had started it with private funds. And she took me into this room, and there were about 25 children, and she said, "Here's your Wednesday volunteer," and left. At recess time and lunchtime, we went out in the patios, and they just sat in their wheelchairs. And I said, "Don't you have something we can do to play games or anything that we could do?" And she said, "No, and I don't know what they can do anyway." By the end of the day, I knew I had found my calling. I knew that I had to go to college and major in recreation. I knew that I had to start a recreation program at the school. And beyond that, I also knew that I had to establish a recreation center. And it all came to pass. Let your light so shine before men that they'll see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. God is able to make all grace, every favor and earthly blessing, come to us in abundance, so that we may always and under all circumstances be self-sufficient, possessing enough to require no aid or support, and furnished with abundance for all good works and charitable donations. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not unto thine own understanding. In all things acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. May God be merciful to you and bless you and cause your face to shine upon you, so that your way may be known upon the earth. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wreck like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, but blind, but now I see. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see.